Folks, ladies and gentle cars, my name is Farkle8000, and it is time to change your grays for oranges, and it is time for Race Derby. This is the fourth year we are running Race Derby. The second year we are recording it and showing it to the masses. But Race Derby, a very fun competition, a very different competition to what we're used to. I'll get to the rules with that in a moment. However, we've got a quick bit of news to get to. Well, only one. We've got 4 brand new competitors entering the series. We've got Sperling, Ambition, Stables, and Hurricane. But now, it's time to get into the rules of Race Derby. Now, before I get into this explanation, if you want to physically see the demonstration, go back to the first half of round number 1 from last season. We have a demonstration with that. But for this time round, I'm just gonna talk to you, and you can kind of see the track here behind me of which I'm standing on. But the race is going to start as usual. Competitors are going to line up in lanes 1 through 4. They're not numbers like the gray track, however, they're the same lanes as we're used to. And then we're going to throw the green. We're going to start the competitors. It's usually a very slow start, but then we get into the real fun. Right here behind me, well, far up behind me, there are 4 yellow pieces. That is what we call the explosion zone. And if you're the first one there, you flip off, or you usually flip off your competitors. There are 4 lanes, 2 competitors should be flipped off each time. Now, the reason I'm saying usually and should is because most of the eliminated don't actually like to be eliminated, and so that leads to a very chaotic run to the second yellow pieces, the ones directly behind me. This is what we call the merge zone. It's where both sides merge together, and just like the first yellow pieces, these yellow pieces, whoever makes it their second, will be flipped off. However, again, the competitors don't usually like to be eliminated, meaning the first across the line usually isn't the winner, and it's either one of the competitors who got flipped off accidentally, or like maybe second or third as some other chaotic thing happened. To determine first and second, it's at the merge zone. To determine third and fourth, it is based off who makes it to the explosion zone first. So we will be taking a look at the footage each time to determine the lineup or the running order. Also, in round number 1, if a competitor is eliminated in the merge zone, lands in front of their competitor, and then flips off the competitor in the other lane at the merge zone, the competitor who should have won the race and didn't get flipped off, or who did get flipped off, will win the race. Moving forwards, though, in rounds 2 and to the end of the competition, sucks to suck, I guess. Hopefully, it doesn't happen. I think it only happened once last season, and so hopefully we don't have to go into that kind of judgment call type of race. There's also a new rule for 3-car races, but it's extremely confusing. So confusing, in fact, that officials got confused while we were running those 3-car races, and we'd have no 3-car races in this one, so we will explain it to you in the next video. So now, with explanations out of the way, I think it's time to start racing. Race number 1 of round number 1, we forgot to get a starting lineup photo. So this photo right here that you are seeing is from our test photo to just make sure that the track lined up. And so from right to left, we've got ladder, Volks, Skull, and Engine, Let's get Race Derby underway. And as the track moves big time. We gotta fix that, but towards the explosion zone, it's Ladder there. First, the outside lanes off the track. Ladder will make it to the merge zone. First, Skull off the track. Volks on his roof through the merge zone. And that was actually a relatively clean race for Race Derby standards. Lanes 2 and 4 went full clear out of the way and allowed our competitors to race, but there really wasn't much racing going on. Ladder, a 2-time runner-up in this competition, had a disappointing run last season, is hoping to come back strong in this one. Starting off well, advancing to round 2. Next up, we've got Racer, Bird, 9, and Tron. It looks to be an even start. Maybe Tron beginning to fall behind. Same with Bird. It's Racer off the side of the track, sideways. Here comes 9. It's tight at the merge. As Racer gets flipped off the track, 9 cruises across the line. And that was an extremely tight finish. Racer coming through the explosion zone, flipped got onto the side of the track. She was first to the explosion zone, but was she first to the merge? That is extremely tight to tell. I'm not really too sure there, possibly. And to me, that looks like Racer is sitting on top of the piece. She just wasn't on the track. This situation right here is very unique. I think we're going to see this quite a few times. Competitors on the side of the track, but you got to make it to that merge zone first. That yellow piece right there. I think Racer is the winner of this race, and taking a look at the results, the officials agree with me. Racer will take the win. An unfortunate situation there, though, getting onto the side of the track. She's got to clean that up for future rounds. It's been a rough season so far. Just mistakes have plagued her. Mistakes, once again, in this race right here. But thankfully, she's still able to get the win. Next up, we've got Flatbed, Jeep, Bones, and FedEx. And it looks to be maybe FedEx with a very slow start. Maybe Jeep beginning to pull ahead through the explosion zone. Jeep clear ahead of the pack. He takes an easy victory. It looks like somehow Flatbed was able to make it across the line. Bones, though, will be placed in second place. Another relatively clean race and a dominant victory right there. That was a very impressive run. Jeep just kind of has these unbelievable standout moments every once in a while in a season. It hasn't happened in quite a few years. Just the tracks haven't lined up well for him, but glad to see he's still got some racecraft, taking a dominant victory right here. Next up, we've got Safari, Discount, Double Liner, and Jacqueline. And it looks to be maybe another close start. Maybe Safari beginning to inch ahead through the explosion zone. Safari off the track. Discount all over the place. But he'll find the speed to beat Double Liner at the merge. Safari flipped off the track. It looked like he was beginning to pull ahead, but unfortunately slowed down just enough for Discount to beat him at the merge. Safari in his final season. It would have been cool to see him advance to round 2 in a race derby. Unfortunately, he's forced to settle for third as Discount finds the speed to get the win. Next up, we've got Fins, Tire Pros, 96, and Viper. And it looks to be another relatively tight start. Maybe Finn's in the lead, but the middle lane's beginning to pull ahead. Oh, 96 on her roof. It's close at the merge zone. Chaos coming to the line. Tire Pros flipped upside down. 96 on her roof. Viper still on the track. What on earth happened there? I need to see what exactly took place through the explosion zone. It is a tight start, and 96 actually gets eliminated by Viper. And so this is the type of situation I was talking about early in the race. 96 eliminated by Viper, but flips off Tire Pros. In future rounds, it's going to be Viper they're probably most likely getting the victory. But in this type of situation, Tire Pros makes it there first before Viper. And so Tire Pros, I believe, will be the one advancing. He will indeed. 96 is actually going to be placed in second place, so never mind. And I just have no idea what on earth happened there. I guess 96 did not trigger her piece, and the officials believe that Tire Pros made it to the merge zone first. He definitely did have a very clean race, and it's extremely close to tell, an extremely close call, but Tire Pros will be put through instead of 96. Upon closer review of that last race, 96 has been robbed. She definitely should have won that last race. She was first. She beat Viper at the merge zone, at the explosion zone, and then she easily beat Tire Pros at the merge zone, even though she was on her roof. So I don't know why they put through Tire Pros, but I am being told by the race officials that, this is the only race derby we have, but this is a specialty competition, and so the Diecast Competition Series officials have informed me that due to 96 being snubbed in round 1 of this competition, 96 will be put through. Round number 1 will automatically advance to round number 2 in the July competition. July has been made a specialty competition. We will let you know more of why it's a specialty competition when we get to it. But 96 will advance automatically to round number 2 in the next specialty competition because she was robbed in round number 1 of this competition. But now, moving on to the next race. Next up, we've got Orange Liner, Cage, 35, and M&M's. And it looks to be a relatively close start. M&M's being left behind. Same with Cage. It's close through the merge zone. Orange Liner all over the place. I think 35, though he gets flipped off the track. Orange Liner might have beat 35 at the merge zone. It was super close, but Orange Liner getting all over the place. What do they say? Yes, Orange Liner will indeed actually be given the victory. Man, that was close. Orange Liner got all out of shape after the merge zone or explosion zone. Oh my goodness. I'm going to mix those up so much in round number 1 of this competition, am I? That's like the 8th time I've done that. Holy. But Orange Liner right here got all out of shape, exiting the explosion zone. I thought he would have lost out to 35, but ultimately Orange Liner just somehow holds on for the win. Next up, we've got Roofless, Impreza, Fire, and X-Train. And it looks to be a relatively close start. Maybe X-Train beginning to inch ahead into the explosion zone. Fire off the track into X-Train, slows him down. Impreza will beat X-Train to the merge. X-Train forced to sit in front of that flipped up piece in disappointment. Fire gets off the track into X-Train. The eliminated do not like to be eliminated in a race derby. X-Train falls victim to Fire getting eliminated, giving Impreza the victory. Next up, we've got 27, BP, Indy, and Alpha. And it looks to be maybe BP with a slight lead early. Maybe the outside lane's inching ahead. Indy off the track, clinks with Alpha. BP will cruise to the merge zone and take the victory. Indy will make it to the other side of the merge zone, but once again, what I said in the last race happens here. Well, even worse right here. Indy coming off the track, Alpha just hit the explosion zone and nearly flipped. He clinked, he nailed doors with Indy. That basically sent them both out of control and gave BP an easy win. Next up, we've got Pattern, Pennzoil, Hendrick, and Bronze. And it looks to be maybe a relatively close start. Maybe the NASCAR is beginning to inch ahead. It's close at the explosion zone. Pennzoil and Hendrick, it's close at the merge. Pennzoil will make it to the finish line first. Neither piece at the merge has been flipped up. Oh my goodness, that was a very close one from start to finish. I thought the NASCARs were pulling ahead, but then both of the NASCARs, they kind of did what Alpha did in the last race. Instead of flipping off the track, though, they just kind of bounced around. Let's take a look, see if we can see what exactly happened here. So here they are about to make it to the explosion zone right there. Both of them into the wall, and it's super close. That's extremely tight. But it looks like Pennzoil makes it first. And that's what the officials say as well. A very close race. NASCARs are extremely strong in the specialty competitions. They have won race and lane the last couple of years, and they have been very strong the last couple of years in a race derby as well. They finished 1-2 in this one, so close. At the merge, it's Pennzoil just barely getting the win. Next up, we've got Mixer, Luke, Charger, and T-Rex Destroyer. And it looks to be a relatively tight start. Maybe the outside lanes inching ahead. Inside lanes off the track. T-Rex Destroyer hit the wall. It's Mixer who beat him at the merge. Mixer too tall to make it across the finish line, but going through that explosion zone, Charger eliminated, clips T-Rex Destroyer, T-Rex Destroyer hard into the wall, and that loses him way too much momentum. Mixer comes through, was relatively clean, was far enough ahead of Luke to where he didn't get clipped and takes the victory. Next up, we've got Armorall, Base, Silver, and Spikes. And it looks to be a relatively close start coming through the explosion zone. Armorall off the track, Silver in the air, it's Base! First at the merge, a clean and easy victory. Silver, unfortunately, popping a wheelie through the explosion zone just hindered her way too much. Just not easy to go through there straight and clean, but Base started the season with a DNF. Competition number 4. He is finally advancing to round number 2. It's been a struggle. Has had some good speed, but just hasn't been able to put it together until now. Next up, we've got Oldster, Hoverstorm, Rifle, and 10. It looks to be maybe a relatively even start. Maybe Oldster now beginning to fall behind. It's Hoverstorm first to the explosion zone. It's close at the merge. Rifle flipped off the track as Hoverstorm cruises across the line. Hoverstorm will be credited with the win. Rifle and Hoverstorm side by side, extremely close right there. But the pieces have spoken. The officials agree, and Hoverstorm will get the victory. A very disappointing start to the season for the sophomore, but Hoverstorm in competition number 4, maybe just like Base, is starting to turn his season around. Next up, we've got M3, Carvana, High Point, and Zonda. And it looks to be a relatively tight start. Maybe M3 and High Point pulling ahead through the explosion zone. High Point all over the place. M3 got sideways, but does beat High Point to the merge. It's chaos coming towards the finish line. Zonda on his tires. High Point stuck at the merge zone. Carvana off the track, but M3 will get the victory. Got all kinds of sideways after the explosion zone. I couldn't tell, but I feel like he might have gotten hit by Carvana, getting eliminated on that inside line, hit the wall, but was able to straighten it out and make it to the line before High Point, just like Base from a couple of races ago. M3 has had a very rough season, has had a rough last couple of seasons, but good to see him turning it around, advancing to round 2 in Race Derby. Next up, we've got Basket, Hot Wheels, Drift Rod, and Exalta. And it looks to be a relatively close start. Maybe Hot Wheels beginning to pull ahead. Basket falling back. A big bounce and very sideways to the line for Exalta. I think he was able to beat Basket at the merge, though Drift Rod getting eliminated basically forced Exalta into a 4-wheel drift. Taking a look at the results, Exalta will get the win. Basket in second place. Drift Rod, the one who made Exalta sideways, put to last place. I gotta take a look at the explosion zone right here, just how crazy this was. So here they are into the explosion zone, in the air, and then gets clipped sideways. What a crazy scenario right there. Slideways. Exalta holds on for the win. Next up, we've got Star, Lego, Stunts, and Blah. And it looks to be a relatively tight start. Maybe Lego beginning to inch ahead. It's close through the explosion zone. Lego in the air. Halt, Star, Stunts all alone. Crossing the line. Lego will flip into the opposite lane and roll to the finish line. It looked like Lego was ahead of Star coming through the explosion zone, but Star said no way and flipped Lego off the track. Lego not very pleased and Star in her place. It's an easy victory for Stunts as the rest of her competitors kind of just fight amongst themselves. Next up, we've got Trunkless, Missile, Loves, and Fender. And it looks to be a relatively tight start. Maybe Trunkless inching ahead. It's close to the explosion zone. Trunkless off the track. Missile was on the side of the track. And he's way in the air through the merge zone. Loves and Missile will flip up each other's pieces. So just unlike the NASCAR race from earlier between Pennzoil and Hendrick, Missile and Loves will flip up each other's pieces, which means we gotta go back and look. I think it was Missile, but him getting on the side of the track, this is going to be a close one. So there they are, the start of the race. A very, very close start. Missile on the side of the track, clips the wall, and does indeed beat Loves. No freeze frame necessary. Missile takes the win. Loves in second. Fender in third. And Trunkless in fourth. I'm shocked we haven't seen more competitors get onto the side of the track. I think the only other competitor we saw get on the side of the track was Racer back in race number 2 of this round. This is race 26, and we finally got another competitor getting on the side of the track. Missile is able, though, to get straight enough, soon enough, to be able to beat Loves at the merge zone. Next up, we've got 222, Budweiser, Shooter, and Rookie Gasket. And it looks to be maybe a relatively even start. It looks like maybe Shooter inching ahead. 222 in the air, gets caught up by Budweiser. Shooter will take the win. Budweiser will cruise across the line. And 222 stuck at the merge zone. 222 will come home in second place. Flips off Budweiser. And it looked like she was leading, but just got caught up, just like Lego and Star a couple of races ago. Shooter will take the win. I wouldn't say he was the fastest in this one. I think 222 was faster, but just took advantage of situation. Shooter takes the win. Oh, and on the way to the garage, 222 furious with Budweiser takes him to the ground. On his side, Budweiser, 222, frustrated, took him to his side. I said that I felt like she was the fastest in this race, and I'm not kidding. I think 222, without Budweiser's interference, could have won this race. 222 has been having a rough season so far. 222 had a great chance right here of advancing to round 2, but just got caught up. She's not very happy right now, and it's very hard to blame her. Next up, we've got Sushi, Coupe, Corvette, and Wasp in an all-rookie race. And it looks to be a relatively close start. Maybe Sushi inching ahead of the pack through the explosion zone. Coupe off the track. Same with Corvette. Wasp sideways. And it's chaos through the merge. Both sides flipped up. Corvette stuck behind the merge piece, but Sushi and Wasp both flipped up their pieces and both flipped off the track. Who takes the win in this race? We've got to go back and take a look at what exactly happened. Just like Exalta, Wasp gets tipped sideways, and that is extremely close to call. That's too close to call between Wasp and Sushi. We're going to need a freeze frame because that's just way too close. Oh my goodness gracious. I still don't know. This is probably going to be a very controversial call, and I'm hearing that they are going to give the win to Sushi. Sushi will get the victory. Wasp put back to second place, moving the freeze frame forwards. I guess they felt like Sushi was pulling ahead and her piece was going down faster than Wasp's. And in the end, I guess it's just a judgment call, and they call Sushi to the win. Next up, we've got Steven, 01, Bomber, and Musk, and another all-rookie race. And it looks to be a relatively close call. Maybe Steven falling behind a little bit. Bomber maybe in the lead. Steven, though, pulls to the front through the merge and will flip Musk off the track. It's chaos crossing the line. I thought Steven was falling behind early, but he proves me wrong. Maybe seconds later, as he beats 01, he beats Musk, so maybe not even Bomber was leading as he gets flipped off, and it's just absolute chaos coming across the line. Steven, this is what I expected in the regular races. I figured Steven was going to be a lot stronger on the current great track, but just has struggled mightily. Advances to round 2 in race derby. Hopefully he can keep up this winning momentum, not just through this competition, but through other competitions onto the great track, because this was a fun run by him. Next up, we've got Lefty, Roger, Supercharger, and California. The outside lanes are veterans. The inside lanes are rookies. And it looks to be a relatively close start. Maybe Lefty beginning to fall behind. The rookies in the lead. A bounce there for Supercharger. It's Roger who beats him at the merge. Sliding to the line. Supercharger on his roof. Roger does take the win. And that bounce right there for Supercharger coming out of the explosion zone seals his fate. Just an unfortunate bounce right there. Coming through these yellow pieces, it is so easy to pop up into a wheelie, get on the side of the track, hit another competitor, but just an unfortunate situation right there. Supercharger was first or second to Batmobile the entirety of the rookie races, has struggled in the regular races. Hopefully he can turn his luck around soon, but it's Roger taking the win and advancing to the next round. Next up, we've got Finish, Interstate, York, and Ethel. And York in lane number 3 is the first of 7 New Yorkers to run in this competition. And it looks to be maybe York with a slight lead early, maybe Finish beginning to fall behind through the explosion zone. York in the air, hits the wall, so does Interstate, but York flips off the track. Interstate will cross the line, and Interstate will be the one getting the victory. That was a very, very strong race from both Interstate and York, but unfortunately York, coming out of the explosion zone, bounced in the air, hit the wall, and that sealed his fate. Interstate also hit the wall, but he had all 4 tires on the ground the entire race. York continues to struggle at the beginning of this season. Interstate advances to the next round. Next up, we've got Benz, Napa, Flyer, and Gibbs. And Benz in lane number 1 is the second New Yorker to run in this competition. And that looks like a very even start. Maybe Gibbs falling behind a little bit through the explosion zone. Napa in the air. Hits Benz sideways, but he holds it to the line. Benz will flip off Flyer. Benz takes the victory, but was all out of shape as he came through the explosion zone, or exited the explosion zone on the run to the merge. We have seen that several times in this competition, just basically drifting to the finish line. Somehow was able to hold off Flyer for the victory. Benz was the third New Yorker to be eliminated round number 2 in the very first competition. Started 49th in points, has been kind of collapsing ever since. It's high time that he finally advanced to round 2 as York continues to plummet. Benz moves forwards. Next up, we've got Artie, Fishy, Blue, and 3. And it looks to be maybe Blue getting left behind early as Fishy and 3 pull to the lead. Fishy off the track, on top of Artie. It's close through the merge. Fishy on top of Artie blocked the front lanes. That is almost impossible to tell who got the victory. Artie's lane is flicked up, but who on earth got the win in this one? I thought Artie was beginning to fall behind and Fishy was pulling forwards, but Fishy off the track, and that's so close. Oh my goodness, I think we're going to need a freeze frame on this one. Man, 3 got big time sideways. Fishy on top of Artie. It's impossible to tell. With Fishy right there on top and in front of them both, it is unbelievably difficult to tell who exactly got there first, because Fishy is kind of blocking our line of vision. The officials call 3 to the victory. So here is your result page. 3 takes the win. Artie will come home in second, Fishy in third, Blue in fourth, but I have no idea what the right call is with this race. But they give it to 3, with Sideways heading to the merge zone, but gets given the victory. Next up, we've got Country, Patrol, Drone, and Type X. And Patrol in lane number 2 is the third New Yorker to run in this competition. And it looks to be maybe Drone beginning to pull ahead early. Patrol falling back. Drone out in the air into Type X. Patrol sneaks by Drone to take the win, as it's absolute chaos behind. Drone was leading going into the explosion zone, and Type X got eliminated and hit Drone, got off the track. Both of them pulled a wheelie. Again, we have seen that several times already in this competition. Competitors pulling wheelies through the explosion zone, and that just completely killed both of their momentums, especially heartbreaking for Drone as he was storming ahead of the pack right there. Patrol kind of gets a gift given to him right here. I believe he started up the highest out of every single New Yorker and has been plummeting and collapsing through the field ever since. A win right here, finally advancing to round number 2. Patrol can hopefully stop that bleeding. This is huge right here for Patrol. He gets a gift, but it's one of the greatest gifts a New Yorker could have gotten. This is the final race of this video. It's race 38 of the round, and it contains Miller, Blitz, Shifter, and Rookie Shazam. And it looks to be maybe a relatively even start. Maybe Miller beginning to pull ahead. In the air is Blitz into Miller. He stops Miller, and Shifter will pull through to the victory. Blitz rolls out of frame. Miller stuck up at the top with a chance to have won this race, but got halted by Blitz. Shifter will take the win. Miller heartbreakingly comes home in second place If we take a look at a replay of what exactly happened here, Miller started the race. He was beginning to pull ahead, but Blitz off the track, then got caught between Miller and the sidewall. Miller came to a halt, loses out on a chance at winning, and just like Patrol in the last race, Shifter just basically gets given a victory on a silver platter. The sophomore competitor beating out the other sophomore and Miller, but Miller probably not too pleased with Blitz right here. That was a devastating situation right there for Miller. Comes home in second place and loses out on a great chance at advancing to round 2 in this competition. Instead, it goes to Shifter, and here, oh, no, never mind. On their way to the garage, Blitz and Miller going at it. Shazam having to get in between them just before they head on up. Miller clearly not too pleased with Blitz, and things got physical. We got to it late. Shazam, the rookie, trying to separate the veteran and the sophomore. Miller not too very pleased with Blitz. I mean, and it's hard to blame him. He had a good chance at winning this race, but just got halted by Blitz. Unfortunately, falls out of contention. Eliminated round 1 in this competition. A competition that the NASCARs are often very, very strong in. And now, here is your round 1 results. Well, part 1 of round 1 results. 38 competitors currently on your screen. A handful of them, I think probably about half of them, we have shown already. So far, 2 New Yorkers are advancing, and 3 rookies out of the competitors on your screen currently who I think could win this competition. Race 1 of this entire video. It's very, very hard to count out ladder at this stage of the competition, though that is going to be a very strong race he's going to be a part of. But we'll see moving forwards. Maybe the next video could give us a competitor who could maybe challenge ladder. But right now, 2-time runner-up competitor in this competition. It's going to be very hard to count out ladder. But there are your 38 competitors who have advanced so far to round number 2 in this competition. We'll be back eventually for for the second part of round number 1 of this competition. And then hopefully we can get into rounds 2, 3, 4, and 5. Unfortunately, we're getting things out late, but hopefully, I say this at the end of every single competition, hopefully eventually we can actually get caught up. But if you do not want to miss the rest of this competition or the rest of the season, subscribe down below. While you're at it, like and comment as well. And that will do it for me today. We'll see you later for the second half of round number 1. And so, until next time, my name is Farkle8000, and we'll see you later.